I'm not so sure how long I'm going to be able to do this today. As of right now, we have no power. I don't know. I think I can. Well, I don't have any light. I'm using the flashlight on my phone. So if it's a weird color, I'm sorry. But we think we had a tornado come through here last night. We don't know for sure because we can't get on social media. I'm saving my phone as much as possible. I just charged it in my car because I took my sister to the airport. It was like 10 to midnight last night, and the trees that are down by the water on outside of our bedroom window were just swirling. They were doing this. And it had thundered and lightning about 10 minutes before that. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of thunder and lightning. And then all of a sudden I saw those trees doing weird things. And I'm like, I don't think I want to be here. So I got my shoes, a pair of shorts, and my wallet and my phone. And I went to the other side of the house, the street side, and sat there for a few minutes. I was able to get the TV station on my phone and watch it come through on their weather. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. And this morning they talked about 200 plus lightning strikes on our neighbor's weather station at our house. We're 2 houses away. I'm trying to think if I can do something on here with Neocolor chews and pencils on top of something that's already there. That's ugly. Let's see if we can't make it pretty. But where's my car and dash label? Oh, here they are. So it officially hasn't been, but we have no power. We haven't since midnight last night, and it's now noon, so 12 hours. But there's 4 different power companies on our street. The house up the street that has a chicken coop, the chicken coop is no longer. I have pictures of it. I'll try to remember to put them at the end. They were able to save 2 chickens and the rooster. They have a tree through their roof of their living room. The end of our street had trees across the road that way and that way. So luckily somebody that way cut out, because we're on a 2-ended street, cut a 1-lane path through one of the trees so that we could get out. 4 of our neighbors have trees down, 2 across their houses. The only thing, these 4 houses right here, next door, us, next door, and next door that, we're on the slopes downhill side of the hill, and everybody else is closer to the street side. And that's the only thing we think saved us. The wind went over us more than it went over them. It went through them. It went over us. But let me tell you, that was not fun. And it's a gorgeous day here today. There's 4 different power companies out on the street that we turned to come into our street, trying to reestablish lines. There's lines down at multiple places. It was a mess. It is a mess still 12 hours later. We saw our electrical company, Dominion, as I was taking my sister to the airport. He goes, y'all got a mess back here. I'm like, yes, we do. And he goes, we didn't even know this was happening. I'm like, neither did we. And the news kept saying, oh, Lake Murray, oh, Lake Murray. I'm like, yeah, Lake Murray, which is where we are. We're on the north side of Lake Murray, the north edge of it. It was not fun. It was not fun. So as of now, we still don't have electricity. So if I don't have a video up for you tomorrow, it's because we have no electricity. I can film it, but I can't upload it unless I go someplace, and I'm not doing that. I took my sister to the airport. Her flight was not delayed. People going into Charlotte may have more problems, but people going through Atlanta seems to be okay. She said hers is not delayed. Because all of our weather comes from Atlanta. Everything, we depend on Atlanta for a lot of stuff, including our airline flights. And she said everything seems to be okay so far. She doesn't leave. No, she's on her flight now. I think she's leaving right now. What a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Just out of the blue. The weatherman kept saying, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, Lake Murray. Oh, Lake Murray. I'm like, yeah, what about Lake Murray? And it was not pretty. But we had branches down all over the place. We did not lose any trees. We had hail, only for about 5 minutes. I'm just taking different colors and coloring on this ugly page to see if I can make it pretty. But, we don't have any dents in our cars. I figured we would because we don't have a garage. But 2 houses down have trees across their driveway, and those poor people, they just sold 2 boats yesterday and signed on a house in town yesterday, because he has pancreatic cancer, not good, and they're moving her and him closer into town for doctor's appointments and stuff. And they can't get out of their driveway. But the electrical company and the big huge marina that's being built down the street, which had no damage, they have 1 tree down, but it didn't hit any of those big huge buildings for boats. They came with their tractors and backhoes and saws and stuff and cut the tree across their driveway so those people can get out, because I think he had a doctor's appointment today. And and our poor neighbor next door, he's had water problems. He has copper pipes, which we replaced all of our copper pipes when we did the encapsulation underneath the house a couple of years ago. But yesterday, another leak happened. He's had a lot of leaks this month. And another leak happened, and it squirted water all over his air conditioner. And now the motherboard of his air conditioner is fried. Which it's not working right now anyhow. But he said, even when I do get it, and they said they have to order the motherboard, which won't be here till like day after tomorrow. Okay, so far but this looks like a tornado. I just noticed that. That looks like, I have not confirmed that it was a tornado, but it has to have been. The poor people up the street with their chickens. They lost all of their chickens except for 2 and 1 rooster. And poor things. I don't know where the deer have gone that were laying in our bushes the other day. I wonder. I can't find any of my good markers, but this is I'm going to write storm. No, that might not go across there. Oh. It was bad. It was bad. It reminded me of Hurricane Hugo in 1989 that I lived through, because we didn't think I was in Sumter, which is about an hour east of here and 2 hours inland from the coast, and we didn't think we would have any problems from the storm except for lots of rain, and we had major tornadoes. We had a car destroyed, and part of the roof of the house was destroyed. What did I put? Storm story. I guess I'm gonna. This does not work on here. So, Mother Nature. Don't mess with Mother Nature. That's not going to work. And it's such a pretty day today, which is exactly what happened the day after Hurricane Hugo. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous day weather-wise. Can't find my... Oh, here we go. So Judy, I was going to go to the post office today, but I haven't done it yet. Oh, that's not going to work either. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this black crayon will. And it like the lake is this shape. Columbia proper downtown is here. The lake is shaped like this. Atlanta is over here 4 hours. And our weather always comes from Atlanta. And when it gets to the lake, it usually does this. It goes north of us and south of us. A string of wind came through, and on the lake, the subdivision that's over here, across from our big cove, had damage, and this street in front of us, and our street, and the street behind us. That's what it looks like so far, without seeing anything else. I'm going to spell wind, but I'm trying to do it in a circular fashion. What else could I put here? What was the date? The 26th? 6/26? Well, actually, it was 10 minutes before midnight, so it still was the 26th. And I really don't care if that's visible when I'm all said and done here. You might have normal glares that you wouldn't have on here because of the lighting, because I've got my flashlight on my phone because I can't get any of my other lights to work, obviously. And we have no water because we're on a pump. So we have no water. We have no electricity. Our stove is electric, so we have no cooking. So no coffee pot, no nothing. We had to get gas for the generator, which my husband doesn't want to start it because this is my husband. We bought it after a really bad storm, probably 20 years ago, and we've never turned it on because he says once you put gasoline, we store it in a closet in one of the bedrooms here, because once you put gasoline in it, you can't store it in the house, which because of our hill, which saved us last night, you got to drag that heavy thing up the hill after that because it'll have had gasoline in it and it can't stay in the house. And so he's holding off. We went to the gas station to get gasoline for it because he didn't have any spare in a gas can. And, but he doesn't want to use it. He says, with this many power trucks here and this many different companies, surely we'll have power pretty soon. And so he's really, you can hear generators everywhere around our house, but he's like, I don't really want to turn it on just yet. But like Frank next door, he has a gas stove, so he can use that. But he can't, he doesn't have nobody has air conditioning right now. How could I make this prettier? What is the ugliest color on here? I think the yellow has helped. I don't like this brown. Can we turn the brown pink? I'm just kind of just working out my frustrations. And I called my sister. I'm like, I don't know if I can take you to the airport. I said, I don't know if I can get out of my street. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, look at your text. I said, the storm came through here last night. What storm? And she's 6 miles down the road. She goes, what storm? I'm like, oh, the storm that came through here last night. She goes, we didn't have anything. I'm like, well, that's the nature of weather sometimes. I could put a lot of black on here. And there's so much lightning. Oh my gosh. Where's the black? Here it is. Because we had a lot of black clouds that were wicked looking. We had flashlights and we were outside looking up in the sky. And things were just, this was after it passed over. But they said there were more cells with lots of lightning, but it never had any more hail and it never had any tornado characteristics. It is wicked. I'm working out my feelings. I still don't like it. But I feel better about what happened. As far as, there was a fire. We heard people at the gas station talking about the street behind us. They, which is across the cove. I heard fire trucks going through there last night, about a half an hour after everything. And, then there were electrical companies staged at the gas station. That's like half a mile down the road. And he goes, well, I heard there were fires over on such and such a street. And I'm like, ooh, that's what I heard. They never came down. I think a fire truck came down our street looking for down power lines. But they couldn't get through our street because there was too many trees. And I don't know how they got past the street. The tree that was across our main street that comes through here. Okay, that's ugly. Ooh, that's ugly. Ooh, that's prettier. Just taking up some of the water and the black. It was quite a... That's 2 tornadoes I've been through. That is too many. But again, we're okay. The dog, oh my gosh, the dog was just shaking. I was holding him and he's like, ooh. And when thunder and lightning happens at the beach, he wants on the floor in a corner, far, far, far away from any windows. He wants to be in the dark. Like, we might need to put him on the floor. My husband's like, no, just leave him up here on the bed. And he said, I'm hugging him. He goes, you can hug him. And we were trying to console him. And he's like, ooh. Which I'm sure it all sounds louder to him. And he feels things that we don't feel. Our dog was growing up. She could feel an earthquake. She would hide like 20 seconds before an earthquake. Even a little tremor. Which we had a tremor here while my sister was here. I'm like, did you know there was an earthquake? Like the second day she was here. No. Don't take those things back with you. Although we have a big fault line through here. I don't know if I like that. I don't think that's very pretty. I kind of want to blur all this because I really don't want that to be visible, but I want to know that it was there. Oh, that's pretty. I'm basically cleaning off my yellow. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty flowers. Well, if my hydrangeas weren't done, they are now. They got blown to smithereens last night. It was just... I mean, by the time I was half asleep, half not, because I got caught on something on, that their YouTube. some art person talking about stuff. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And then by the time I realized it was 11:30, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get up in the morning to take my sister to the airport. I'm like, ay, ay, ay. I'm like, oh, that lighting is really weird. Oh, those trees are acting weird. And then it was kaboom. I mean, it just was so fast. I did not hear a train. How they say you hear a train. I did not hear any of that. Oh, that's pretty. So again, I don't know if I don't have this video. I'm sure we'll have our electricity by tonight sometime. I mean, with the amount of companies here and the amount of supplies and tractors and tools and wire that they have with them. But they had to restring a lot of stuff, whatever you call it in electrical terms. I don't know. So hopefully it comes back. Luckily, it's not horribly hot. And we're keeping it, I mean, my husband, well, it's been out since midnight. I was going to say my husband keeps it so cold during the night that we kind of don't get hot inside until late in the afternoon. Oh, that's pretty. All right, let's get some green. That's prettier than that other one. Green. I like how people paint it and then color it loosely over so that the color underneath the paint comes through still. And I don't know how to do that very well. Well, I don't know how to do any techniques very well, but better than I used to. Practice and persistence. Sometimes. There's a house 5 houses down from us that every tree, it's across from the house that the chicken coop is in, and every tree just like spun, and there's like some this way, some that way, some that way, some that way. Like, that's a tornado. That doesn't look good. Probably should have put the light color down and then put the darker color as an accent. Oh well. This does. Oh, that's better. Just did a little strike again. I just want enough to add contrast, tone, texture, all those magic words. Now, let's see. There's a dark green. Trying to make these smaller so it doesn't look quite as bulky. Not being perfect, obviously, about any of it. So these are magic hydrangeas. That's kind of pretty. Now that's kind of pretty. I can live with some of that now. I wonder what, this is a very pale pink. I wonder what that'll do to these. Nope. There's an orange. I wonder what that'll do. And that's kind of pretty. I'm just adding a little bit of orange dot to the center of the pink. the weird thing was, and when I was talking to my neighbor this morning, early this morning, I said, you know, the funny thing was that right after it passed over, it was probably like 10 minutes later, I heard a plane going over. He goes, so did I. He goes, there is a midnight flight. Like, how did that plane, it must have flown over everything. The last flight that comes into Columbia is like at midnight, he said. Because his son has taken that flight before. I don't want to do every one of these. Just a couple of these. It was a wild ride. Thankfully, I don't know how the house is. My husband was going to go over there and check. He went to lunch with his brother. My husband has to eat lunch somewhere every day. He recharges with people. I recharge with art supplies. And he said I would go over there and look. Because the guys at the gas station said that house was on fire. I couldn't smell anything and I couldn't see any red glow. I hope they're all okay. What a crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, I think I'm going to take pink. Hold on. I can take pink and kind of outline these. These are my magic hydrangeas. I'm very roughly, obviously, going over these. Or outlining them, actually. I don't want them perfect. Kind of like that. I hope the light is better than it looks on camera. All right, I think that's long enough. Especially since I don't know when I'm going to be able to upload this. So, wild times around here right now. But hopefully my sister gets home okay this afternoon. Back to California, and our car's okay. It's been at the airport this whole time. That's pretty. That's interesting. Huh, I kind of like that too in an abstract sort of way. Oh, I really like that. I don't think I'm going to paint over that. Some of these, yes. No. I like that combination. I think these were coats I did at the beach one day. Ugh, that's ugly. Ick, that's ugly. That I like. Okay. Where was the one we did earlier? Yuck. Don't like that. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Hopefully with electricity.